Hi, hello everyone. This is Flosstube number 11, and my cat is running around. Now he wants to play with the tripod. Come here, go on. I have an arsenal of cat toys to distract him in case he wants to come over here and try to play while I'm recording. Sorry about the delay. Okay, wait. Hi, welcome to Flosstube number 11. My name is Noah. This is my channel. I have a little cat. He's right here. So if you see me looking in weird spots of the room, his name is Erickson. And, you know, he's the love of my life. I am drinking a smoothie this morning because it is quite early on December 29th, 2020. Yesterday, the video should have gone up December 28th. But long story short, YouTube has a little bit of a issue when it comes to recording within their app and then trying to upload it, because there's always this small chance that the upload just doesn't upload and then the video is gone forever. So now I contacted YouTube and there's this whole ordeal, and of course they weren't helpful. And you know, this has happened quite a few times. So now I'm just gonna record it on my phone, and then I'll just wait all day and wait for it to upload, and it's just gonna take more time on my end, but at least I don't have to re-record videos. So, you know, at least yesterday I recorded this, and again, it was lost into the ether of the internet. So at least today I'll hopefully be a little bit more concise. Hopefully, because I had like a practice test run. We'll see though. If anyone is new to the channel, you're like, oh, okay. If you're a returning person, you're like, no. But that's kind of my style, you know. He is zooming everywhere. Stop. He runs right next to the tripod. Like on purpose, I think. I really do think it's on purpose. He's got this new cat toy that I gave him for Christmas. And so he's obsessed with it right now. So hopefully that'll keep him busy. And he doesn't get, you know, destructive or anything while we're on camera. Because he's a kitten and that's what kittens do. He just turned 4 months old. 4 months old on the 24th. So he's growing. I've had him since 5 weeks. He's growing really, really fast. But this is the weirdest intro. This is a Flosstube channel. I talk about cross stitch. Sometimes I talk about knitting, crochet, quilting, but I don't have any of that to show today. I don't have any FFOs or fully finished objects, and I don't have any finished objects to show. I do have 5 works in progress or whips to show, and then I also have 2 new starts. I have a little bit of haul, and then I also have a lot of Stitchy Kindness. So before we get into it, I do want to talk about a couple of things first. So, first off, I got this new blender for Christmas from my mom. And this goes on the blender. And I was like, this is a huge shake, is it not? Like, look at the size of that. So, sorry, this is like my breakfast. It's got strawberries, apples, bananas, protein powder, coconut milk, yogurt that's dairy-free, and then, of course, ice. But the trick is you freeze a banana, and in that way, you know, you freeze the cut-up banana. There was one time I stuck a whole banana in the freezer. Don't even ask me how that went. It was black. Like, the banana turned black. Okay, you don't need to hear about all that. But anyways, I want to talk about a couple of things first before we get into the Flosstube stuff, into the stitching. So as many of you know, or anyone that is a returning viewer, I am in Tennessee. I live about an hour away from Nashville, Tennessee. So I tend to say that I just live in Nashville, Tennessee here on Flosstube or on Instagram because it's easier to For people to kind of pinpoint where that's at, especially if they live in other countries, they might recognize Nashville more than the town that I live in outside of Nashville. So I promise it has a point. I just want to say thank you to everyone that messaged me and reached out and asked if I was okay after hearing the news on Christmas. In case anyone missed it, on early Christmas morning, he needs another toy because now he's getting distracted. Early Christmas morning in Nashville, a bomb was detonated on 2nd Avenue. And you know, I'm not here to discuss that, but and what all occurred, but you know, no one was really seriously hurt. There is a lot of property damage. You can hear the cat in the other room destroying stuff. So there was a lot of property damage, and a lot of people reached out to me concerned that I may have been impacted by it. I am not impacted by it. AT&T went down for a few days. They finally gotten that back up, as well as the 911 services, because that also went down. So that was pretty scary because we had all these backup numbers, but it wasn't as quick as 911 is per se. So that was kind of scary. But you know, Nashville got hit pretty hard by that. And of course that does affect me in some sense of way, right? Because next time I'm in Nashville, I'm not going to feel as safe, but I was not physically impacted by it. So thank you. I just want to say thank you to everyone that reached out and asked if I was okay, or if my workplace was impacted, anything like that. So, you know, I know that's kind of dark news, but I do just want to say thank you to the people that reached out. And lighter happiness. Actual Christmas was great. I spent it with my mom and my younger brother. And so we were able, and then my stepdad, but you know, great. All the comments are gonna be like, what? Because the way that I just said that, sorry. I didn't mean it in any bad way. No, I spent Christmas with them and it was really, really good. I don't know. It was really relaxing. I didn't get a lot of stitching done on Christmas or even the weekend after because I worked all weekend. So, you know, and then yesterday I filmed Flosstube, and then when it went down, I didn't have enough time to film another one. So yesterday was just a throwaway day. I was just so like, this day is just pointless. And so I feel much better today. I got up early. I went grocery shopping, which that's the trick. Go at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Nobody is there. But yeah. Got a little bit on my nose. I don't think this is going to be an effective top to, I'm not going to say that again. Don't take that out of context. I don't think, it doesn't really allow a lot through the little, anyways. Maybe it needs to melt a little bit more. But to the cross stitch now. So my first work in progress, oh, and he's in the window. That's his favorite spot. Oh, I need to show y'all this photo. So he now knows how to jump on the bathroom counter, which is its own set of issues. I have like really high counters in my bathroom and kitchen, so I didn't think he would jump on them for at least a little bit longer. But I watched him fail the first time the other day, and I mean, it was kind of funny. Here he is. Oh, I'm gonna show him before he gets all crazy. So I came in the other day, well, last night, and this is what he was doing. That's his like spot now, is in the sink. He's like, oh, I love this bed. This is Erickson. Oh, honey. He wants to go play. I'm gonna go let him go play. Go on. Love you. Adios. Adios, amigo. I'm back. So yeah. I also found out he likes to chew on my toothbrush. So I had to go and buy a new toothbrush this morning. And now I keep it in the drawer rather than up on the countertop. But anyways, to the cross stitch. So my first work in progress was Antonio by Satsuma Street. This is what the finished product will look like. Okay. I am tracking it with my project tracker from S Word Designs on Etsy. So right here it has all the information up to the top, designer name or project name, designer name, fabric, notes, start, finish, how many days you spent on it, and then of course the tracker. And then this will be one that I carry into 2021 because I'm not going to finish it. So like this year. So there's 2021, there's 2022. But so the days that I worked on it were the days that I worked on it were the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. This is also a stitch along that I'm doing with Scott Stitches in Spain and Kansas City Girl in the Colorado World, Julie. So Scott and Julie. I did a little bit on it here. I also have it in my everything like binder by Dawn Marie, who is DM's Crafty Vortex. I'm gonna talk about her a little bit later because there is also a little something there. But in case you're new and you haven't seen this yet, it holds all of my, as I knock myself out. It holds all of my flosses, and then of course this key ring holds my other ones. And then this holds spoolies and all that good stuff. And there's a zipper here for this pocket. And there's a pocket in the front. I love it. It was very kind of her to make that for me. Now, where did I just put those? Oh. I was looking for my cute little clothespin kit, or clips. Clothespin clips. Say that 3 times fast. You don't realize that you kind of look dumb doing something until you can't do it. Like something as simple as just like putting this fabric on there. I'm like, Okay, so I'm doing it on 32 count even weave, and I'm doing the called for colors. Again, this is Antonio by Satsuma Street. Right here. That's pretty. I always have to like look around to make sure that I can get it in frame and that the colors are showing. Sorry about the shadow, that's where my phone's at. But those colors are showing pretty true to color. Those colors are true to color. But no, the lighting is actually pretty good today. It's wonky, but good. So since y'all saw it last time, I finished this apple completely, which I just love the variegation. Most of these flosses are variegated, and there are some that are not. Like for instance, this is 550 within this leaf, so all of it is the same. Like that similar purple, it's like the same colorway. But then this, like you have to do it 1 stitch at a time. But I love how the variegated looks, even with the rind of the skin of the apple. The skin of the apple there is variegated, so are the leaves. But I think it's my favorite block so far. Maybe because I'm a teacher and that's what teachers love, are apples. But I also finished some of this border here. I went down. This actually only has a little bit, and then it's this other, so see how it stops here? It'd be another border right here, and then that'll be the full size of it. So I still have this little bit of fabric in case I ever make anything else, but I'm not too sure if I could, use this for something else. Did y'all hear that? Someone was knocking really abrasively. I hope it wasn't on my door. Now I'm scared. Should I go check? Okay, I think we're in the good. I think we're in the clear. But yeah, wouldn't that just be awkward? Someone walks in, because I don't edit the Flosstubes. Someone's like knocking on my door and they're like, hello. And I'm like sitting in my room all surrounded by cross stitch and I'm like, hello, But yeah, I love the colorways on this. I think it looks amazing. Again, with it being variegated flosses, you can see how hers looks just a teeny bit different from mine, as well as Scott's and as well as Julie's, which is it adds to the uniqueness of it. I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, I guess that's the goal, right? Is to like what you're stitching on. Don't ask me about my Castle sampler. Gosh, I haven't picked that up since quarantine, and that was April. Because I did such a terrible job at doing a counting error, and I just was like, go in a box, don't look at me. I don't look at it. Maybe I'll bring it out next year on its 1 year anniversary of me putting it away. That'd be funny. That'd be funny a lot. Okay. So, on to my next work in progress. This is the Mystery Stitch Along, this mystery sampler, the year 2020 by Linen and Threads. Now, I think we only have like 1 or 2 more days of this. If you go to Linen and Threads website, Brendan and Karen are archiving, like they're getting rid of, I think, the 2017 and the 2018 stitch alongs that they have. So if you would like those, you need to go download those before the new year, because they're putting out the 2021 one, and I think that's just kind of how they're rotating it and keeping it. Hey, Bubby. What's that? He just opened the door. I mean, it wasn't shut all the way, but... yeah, this doesn't work well. At least the lid. I keep getting it on my nose. I mean, I'm getting it on my nose from this little flip top, but I guess I could wipe that off. Wash your hands. But I just licked my own finger, so. But back to this cross stitch. It is the Mystery Sampler 2020 by Linen and Threads. I started it on January 1st. It was my new year, new start. And then you can see here when I worked on it. I worked on it the 17th, the 19th, and then the 20th. But I didn't put stitching in. So this is what the finished product will look like. Beautiful. This is the mock-up with it being a red sampler. I love all the Quaker motifs. But the one thing is, I guess I should get it out now, right? This is my first ever project bag that I made. I like to show the project bags because people tend to ask me about them. So I was texting Julie one night. You need to leave that door alone. Hey. Hey. Leave the door alone. His new thing, chewing on the bottom of doors. Who would have thunk? Eat that toy. And he's just staring at me like I'm supposed to chew on this? There, he's playing with it now. So I was texting Julie. Well, okay. It was actually like 3 weeks ago. Remember when in my last Flosstube, I was like, oh yeah, I had to frog this one section because I was drinking wine and I don't think I counted right. Well, that was part of it. But then I was also on Virtual Stitchers and I was like, hey y'all, I'm kind of, I don't know, this motif is supposed to go here and it's not fitting at all. And they were like, don't tell anybody, let's just keep it going, you know, like let's just fudge it a little bit. And I was all on board for that. And then I started getting further and further. And then I realized that the month of September and October were completely off. Like completely off. And that's when I texted Julie and I sent her a picture of the area that I needed to frog or rip out, which is why it's called frogging, because it's like rip, rip, rip. And it was all of this. I had to remove this part of October, which is where the ghosties were, as well as September, because what I had done, this is in the correct placement, but I had miscounted from August when I started stitching September, because it's a month by month stitch along. So I had to, don't get up there. Don't get up there. He wants to go after the cross stitch, of course. So I miscounted from August, which led to September, which means I went down here. I think this is a part of November because I wanted that corner. So even this is in the wrong place. And this is where I found out it was in the wrong place, because there are supposed to be 3 stitches in between here, these 2 motifs. If you can see, there is only 1. So, I was trying to fudge it. I was gonna see if I can kind of keep these here, because this was a lot of stitching, and see if I can maybe do December up here and see if I can align it. And that's when I also realized that because I had miscounted this month of September, the month of October was off. So it was off by like 4 or 5 stitches this way, but also this way. So this should have been up higher, which means the motif that goes right here would run into September. I mean, I was like, you know what? I can't redesign this. I'm not going to redesign this. I'm just going to take a seam ripper, and that's what I did for 3 nights. It took me 3 nights to take all of that stitching out. You can still kind of see a little bit of a haze, but because this is oatmeal, this is 18 count oatmeal Aida, and I'm using DMC 311, it wasn't that big of a concern for me. Like the Aida is easier for me to frog on because I don't, like an even weave or a linen, I would be concerned about really messing with those fibers because they're not, like these are like starched in place kind of, like Aida is a tighter, how am I gonna explain this? With Aida, I'm not too worried about, like it's just easier to frog on than a linen, because then with a linen, the weave is all wonky afterwards. Aida tends to fix itself after you frog, so, and then you take a little bit of a clean toothbrush, and you can run over it and get extra fibers out of the Aida from the thread, which I'm not really concerned about that much or that too much, because I'm going to be stitching on top of this right here. It's just going to be up and over a little bit, so it's really not going to show in the final product. But I still have to frog this motif right here. After 3 nights of doing that, I was just wore out, and I need to love this piece because I still do. But that was, I was angry. I mean, there's just no other way at myself, right? Because I had messed that up. Not at the design or anything like that. Because it's such a simple error that led to so many hours just being gone. But, in good news, it is a beautiful design, so I don't mind restitching it. It's just more of like, it was just a little bit of a setback, and it was really discouraging. But that's okay. I get more time with this piece, so that's not a bad thing. I do think I want to bring it out soon. Again, I'm not in the exact right place mentally to pull this one back out without getting a little frustrated with myself. So I think it's just going to take a few more days to come back out. It needs to sit in timeout. Again, not that it did anything. It's just I need that mental timeout. And then I think I'm actually going to move up to December and stitch from December, because then it would be a separate motif. It's a different Quaker, so I don't feel like I'm restitching the same thing that I stitched like 2 weeks ago. So we'll have some more progress on that next Flosstube, which, excitingly enough, next Flosstube will be January 11th, 2021. There's like one chunk of ice that's sitting right there. I need a straw, that's what I need. That's such a good smoothie, but it keeps getting clogged in that little, like that's not a small, how many times am I going to talk about this smoothie? Jesus. Well, if Jesus was here, he'd fix it for me. Anyways. Yes. Cross stitch. My little tangents are ridiculous sometimes. I have cat hair on my nose. That's something too. I don't realize how much I touch my face until I watch these videos back, or at least I watch the first like 10 minutes to make sure it's okay. But y'all want to see something cute? Where'd it go? I say that and then it's not even here. Yesterday, I was taking down the Christmas decorations, and I think a little piece of glitter came off of one of the ornaments or something. And, or not a glitter, it's like a sequin. And so I was sitting there stitching, and Erickson came up to me and he was like, hey, I'm ready to cuddle. So he'll sit in my lap while I stitch because I have the Lowry stand. So it's held from my, look, I'm talking about him and he wants to be held now. There you go, honey. So, oh, there you go. So he was sitting there and he wanted to be held, but he had this little tiny dot on his nose, and I was like, what is that? And it was a sequin, but it's like perfectly placed. Oh, there's the outside. Look at how cute he is. Oh, he's really getting too big to be on my shoulders, but without destroying my back. I mean, I have all of these claw marks all on the top of my back because he's just, you know. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah. Look at him. He's like huge now, y'all. Oh, do you like my Mount Rushmore shirt? I got it when I went to Mount Rushmore. I'm looking for this photo. Okay. My next whip is the Heaven and Earth Designs Mini Victorian Garden. The original artwork is done by Dominic Davison, which I do like his pieces. Sorry about the glare from outside. Look, you can see my real trees out there. But that's what it looks like right there. So here's my little progress tracker for it. I started at September 15th. I'm doing it on 25 count even weave, and I'm doing it 2/1. I'm doing it with the called for DMCs because that's how it was charted, and I'm not gonna change anything out for a Heaven and Earth design. And I stitched on it the 23rd and the 24th of December, those 2 days right there. So I actually hadn't stitched on it for 2 months, which is why I brought it out, because I missed it. So I'm gonna have to set you down, baby. I can't hold you and set up my cross. Look at him. He's like, no, honey, lay in your bed. Normally I don't set him down, so all I'm doing really is spoiling him constantly. I'm holding this in my bag that Robert made me. Oh, he's in his bed. He's happy now. I am doing this Heaven and Earth with the parking method with Pattern Keeper. So if you don't know, Pattern Keeper is an app for Android devices only. So I have an Android tablet specifically for Pattern Keeper because, you know, it doesn't take a lot of convincing when something is Stitchy related. Do not do that. Do not do that again. Don't do that. He just went after my threads that are hanging off. This is why someone asked why I kick him out of the room when I'm doing this stuff, and I'm like, because he sees cross stitch when I'm not sitting in my couch, and he's like, ooh, what's that, and wants to investigate. But I'm stitching this with Pattern Keeper because on Pattern Keeper you can highlight a symbol and it'll show you where it's at throughout the entire pattern. It also tells you how many stitches you've done throughout the day, how many stitches you have left, how many stitches are total, blah, blah, blah. But the reason I bring that up is because I was actually able to do on the 23rd, 1,024 stitches. And then on the 24th, I was able to do 1,143 stitches. Now I'm doing it 10th stitch, which is where you just do the, oh, I just hit myself. Where you just do the first stitch, like the first leg of the stitch. You only do like, you know, this instead of this. You do this. That's a good way of explaining it. You just do this throughout the entire pattern. And because it's on 25 count, it's already really small, so it already gives that full coverage look because of, okay. Everybody say bye. Bye. You just went after it again. You lost your privileges of being in here with me. Privileges. I just don't want to be showing this and then my threads are hanging and he attacks it again. So this is the full piece. This is what he was going after. because in Pattern Keeper, you can park your threads and it'll show you which one is like, what thread that is. So that's how I do it. But there we go. So this is actually the end of the first page, right underneath this little triangle. It's part of the house. But now I'm starting to spread my stitches out a little bit so it doesn't have that page break. Because it's going to be a while before I get over to this page, because I'm going to go down and then do the next one. I know some people do it this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, so it helps. Some people do it diagonally. My brain cannot comprehend the diagonal stitching. A lot of people do it, but my brain cannot comprehend it, so I just stick with the pages. But I'm almost done. So again, this is all that's left of that first page. I think there's like 12 pages, something like that. But I am 10.04% done with this pattern. So I am at 7,612 stitches, and at a total, it's like 75,000 stitches. So again, with it being tent stitch, it's easier to go, it's faster, but 75,000 stitches is still 75,000 stitches. So this is where that tree trunk goes down to the side of the house. This is the ivy on the, let me show you. This is the ivy right there. See it? See the triangle part? And there's the trunk. So really I'm right there, but I still have, you see how much further that can go? Or it's not going, it can go, it will go. Pause for the car. It's easier to get that smoothie now. So yeah, it's only going to be about this big, and it's going to be like this big, but I like looking at it from a distance because then you can actually see it. And the good thing is all of this sky that's right up in here is like only 2 colors. So, you know, we're smooth, going right along. It's harder to stitch with this now that I have Ericsson because I have to set up my tablet with Pattern Keeper. Typically I'm watching or listening to something too. So there's something on my TV. But with all the parked threads on my stand, I have them pulled off, or I have to wound them up to, like to tuck them away into the grind guard. And with a cat that's very curious about everything, he wants to smell it, so, and go after the threads. I just have to be in the right state of mind to just sit there and kind of play defensive while I cross stitch. But when he's asleep, it's a really good time because he'll go up on his cat tower and sleep. And so, but look at the back. I love the backs. Like, it's its own piece of art. Because I carry all my threads, because it'll be like 1 stitch over here and then 1 stitch over here. So, I just like how it looks. I may be in the minority there, but I don't know. I think today's is going by actually a little bit faster than yesterday's video, so if that's telling you something, because it's already at 33 minutes. My next work in progress is the painted pumpkins. This is by Mill Hill. It's a part of that collection, and it is the Persian pumpkin. I cannot for the life of me find the actual cover photo that came with the kit, so here's a photo of it. Who knows where I hid it from him, because that's something I'll do, is I'll tuck it away somewhere, because I'm like, he won't get into this, and then I forget where it goes. I just did a little bit of the beading on this one. I finished... Y'all, here's the cover photo. Not that I'm going to show the pattern, but I had it tucked away in the pattern. Now that's just downright embarrassing. Here's the actual cross stitch. So these beads right over here are matte beads, so are these, so they're not gonna shine and sparkle, but these down here will. And all of the empty area is beading. So it's gonna take a little bit more time, just a teeny bit, but I think I'm actually halfway through. So they'll have, Mill Hill will have one set of bag, like 2 sets of bags. I don't know what's trying to get me today. Mill Hill will have 2 sets of bags. I already finished the first bag, so I'm technically halfway through the beading when you look at it that way. But in the trunk, in the actual spiral, it'll be nice. Do you like how I store my needles? It all gets cut away anyways. But that's where that one's at. Again, that's Painted Pumpkins, the Charmed Ornaments, Persian Pumpkin. Which honestly, I could probably just sit down and just knock that out. But I have not. My next one is another ornament, and this is one that Vanessa sent me, sweetheart. It is the, where's the thing? Oh, here it is. Oh, I'm keeping these in my bag, my cat bag that I made. This is the Gingerbread House Ornament by Dimensions. I just love how cute it is. I actually stitched, this was the only thing I stitched on Christmas and then the following day. I haven't gotten too far on it, but I like the progress that I've made. So I've got the outline of the gingerbread person. I did the snow up at the top, and then I've done all of these. So these 3 colors, that's it in the pattern. So with Dimensions, I like that. They have not a lot of colors, but it's easy to jump around their pattern because it's pretty small and condensed. So, there you go. So I'll do all of this coppery brown. I'll do all of this dark white. I'll do all of the light blue. Because they also put all of their, where is it at? As I knock everything over. They put their flosses on these, and I know you can take them off and put them on a card stock or even an actual floss holder, but I don't have any of those, and I didn't want to make one, so I got a little lazy and I got excited to start this. So when I knock one color out, I just get rid of that color. Like I like put it in its own little pile and its own little baggie, and I'm like, this is a completed color. So it's like a little finish as you go. But it is on plastic canvas, which is a 14 count. I think the Mill Hill perforated, or it's perforated paper, which, mentioning of my last Flosstube, I talked about the Espresso Mill Hill. I think it's a part of their autumn series, autumnal series, one of those. Now, I had mentioned that I was going to do the pen stitch to do the steam coming off of the coffee, and everyone, I didn't really think about it, and so people started talking about it, and they were asking how I was able to do the pen stitch on paper, and I was like, I don't know what the hell I was talking about. Sorry. I was like, I don't know what I was talking about, so I will not be doing the pen stitch on that Espresso Mill Hill. I haven't picked it back up in the past couple weeks, but I posted it and then I went, now that's dumb, like that, but it is what it is. I just thought it was so funny because I had told everybody here on Flosstube, I was like, yes, I'm gonna do the pen stitch to do these because they're single little stitches here and there, and then everyone was asking how to do that on paper because you would just split the paper then, and I was like, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strategically stitch them, and then when I do have to run the floss, I'll do it on a diagonal. That was a lot of the suggestions, was to do it. So for instance, if there's a stitch here and there's a stitch here, don't just do this one and then do this one. Like, I can still do this because the floss will hide behind the... When I stitch it, it'll make more sense. I'm doing a bad job at explaining it. So my next new start was one that I had mentioned that I was waiting on fabric and the etoile in my last Flosstube, which I want to thank everybody for enjoying and watching the finish parade for 2020. Of course, I have never done one of those, and it was actually really exciting to do that rather than a whip parade, just because I feel like I have a lot of whips, but I also feel like I rotate them pretty well, so each week or each time I post a video, they're kind of different. There's definitely the ones that always get pulled out, so like the mystery sampler, but ones that don't get pulled out, like my Mirabilia, which she needs to come back out because I miss her. But I just want to say thank you to everybody that enjoyed that video, because there were a lot of people that were, you know, really sweet to me about it, and I thought it was nice. So my next new start is the Happy Holidays Trio by Hemlock and Rye Stitchery. Now, it's on Gumroad, which I'll link in the description box below. But Julie, Kansas City girl in the Colorado world, just love saying her name. It's always like, Kansas City, you know. Anyways. She has it on Gumroad. She's the designer behind Hemlock and Rye Stitchery, so I'll have that linked in the description box as well. So it's a pay what you want, but what she did was she took the proceeds from these purchases and she donated them to an LGBTQ like center out there in Colorado. So she's just an amazing person, an amazing ally, and I'm gonna say this too right here and now. Being an ally to the LGBTQ community is kind of like a I don't know, y'all, other people might not think this way, but to me it's kind of like a stamp of approval. Like, it has to come from someone within the community to tell someone else that they're an ally, and Julie is totally an ally. So I don't know, maybe I did a weird way of explaining that, but what she has done is just absolutely incredible. So here's the trio. Like, I say things sometimes and I'm just like, I know someone's gonna laugh at that in the comments, which is fine. I think it's funny too, but I'm like, of course that's what trio means, is 3. What else would it mean? So I am doing this on 28 count even weave. I always have the even weave, by Yarn Tree. This is Lugana, and this is in the color Ice Blue. Now, when I showed it yesterday, it wasn't really showing well on camera, so hopefully this will show better today. But I am doing the trio as a full piece set, so like one collective piece. So what I did was I took the patterns that Julie charted, I took the dimensions of them. I'm smiling because Bart literally said in one of the videos, he was like, you can just screenshot rather than, not in my video, but in his video. He was like, you know, y'all can just screenshot rather than just awkwardly standing here and waiting for YouTube to talk about it. So now I screenshot my cover images. So I'm doing them as a trio because there's 3. And I have them all on the same piece. So what I did is I took the charted design, I did a little bit of maths, and I put one stitch, like a 1 stitch margin around each design. Now these 2 are the same size, and this one's just a little bit smaller. So of course that one went in the center because of, you know, proportions and symmetry. And then I just did like a back stitch, like a running back stitch along it. So I think it's gonna look cool when it's the 3rd one there. But this is the issue that I was running into, is this white wasn't really showing all the way back here. But it shows really well when I take photos of it. And you can see it there better. I love the snowflakes though. And I know how much work Julie put into those snowflakes because they are difficult to design. But here we're starting the t-shirts. I almost have this one done. These are martinis. I still have to put the olive in this one. But I love their little reindeer, and then, you know, the wreaths, candy canes. Now this is all charted with the toile, and it's not really oh, there you go. The glimmer is showing a little bit. But on video, it doesn't really pick up that well. Now, I do have photos of this on my Instagram, noah.stitches, that picked up. It took me a few minutes, longer than I'm willing to admit, to get the toile to show on my camera. So I do have photos of that one on there if you want to go see the toile and see kind of what it looks like. But yeah. Oh, and I don't know what is going on today. The Christmas tree right here is a needle minder that I made from the Top Knot Stitcher. She has a needle minder kit. That was one of the needle minders in the kit. And so I made that, and then I put it on my Christmas piece. Hopefully I'll have this done. I'm not gonna put a goal on this one, because then I won't meet it, and then I'll just get sad. Do y'all ever do that? I think that's why I don't try to set goals for myself. I do want to finish it sometime soon. That's my goal. As I contradict myself. Sorry about the crinkle. Someone said that they like it though, so. For that one person that enjoys the crinkle. Just reminds me of ASMR, which is, that's a fun side of YouTube. I actually like it. That's a good smoothie. So I only have, I'm finishing up Dawn We Now Are Gay Apparel, and then I'm on to holiday greetings and gay happy meetings. Before I get into haul and Stitchy Kindness and all that good stuff too, I do want to show this. So my mom, I've talked about her a couple of times here on Flosstube, but she stitched a lot when I was younger, as well as, you know, now she's picking it back up because me and my brother, like my brother and I have both left the house, so she has more time. She was a single mom for a long time, so she didn't really have time to sit down and stitch. And so when I was there for Christmas, she has always put this stocking out, and I thought I'd share that with y'all today. She stitched this when I was born, and I just absolutely love it. Of course, I never knew as a child the amount of work that went into this, but even the border goes all the way across. It's just getting cut off. She stitched my name into it. But isn't this stocking amazing? And then of course it was a kit too, of course. So it was a kit, and she actually made it into the stocking. So she stitched it and did all the things, and then actually made it into a stocking herself. And my brother has one, but his is a stocking that's like a sequin, like 3-dimensional. I don't know the exact name of it. It's not cross stitch, but it's not embroidery. It has like it's applique. It's mixtures of applique, but also hand sewing, and it's, you know, I can't think of it at the name right now, but it's its own craft. And so she made a stocking for him later on when he was born, because he's the younger brother. But that's a lot of stitching. Like, that's a lot of stitching. But I just thought I'd share that with y'all. She also did, I don't know the exact name of this. I think I just call it the Amish Farm. I know it's a discontinued piece. I know Blitz Stitch is stitching this right now. He's doing the diagonal, and that's a cool watch. But Vanessa also finished this. So my mom did it as the triptych. See here. Oh my gosh, that glare. But these are like close-up pictures of it. So this is one that I grew up with in the house, like on the wall. And my mom actually won, if you can see here. She won first place at the Tennessee State Fair when she did it. I think it's funny when I say that, because I'm like, yeah, she's a good stitcher. Like, she won first place. Look at that. So this was on the wall growing up. Again, not realizing the amount of work that went into that, and she accomplished that. So that's probably where I get it from, right? But, so I wanted to show those before I get into the rest of all this good stuff that I have to show. So I want to do just a teeny tiny bit of haul before I get into the Stitchy Kindness. As I shoot water out of my mouth there, sorry. Just a few things. So I have it's not a part of haul now that I'm using it, but the ice blue even weave came from Fire Poppies. That one is being stitched on, and then I have the rest tucked away in stash. So y'all know what that looks like. I got a full, did I get a full yard? No, half a yard? I think I got half of a yard, and that's only a fat eighth cut down. So I still have quite a bit. But I wanted to get on the fancy train, the fancy floss train, you know, before 2021 ends. So I ordered my first ever silk. I know why everyone stitches with silk now, because it's amazing. Look at this. So this is my first one. It's Dinky Dyes, and it is 285 Night Sky. Look at that. Ooh, that's showing really well. So it's this beautiful purple, like black variegated. Oh, it makes me so excited, but I don't want to stitch with it now. I just want to pet it, which I don't think is good for the floss, but you know, it's good for me. And you know, it's just so soft. I didn't realize how soft silks were, which when you think about it, again, of course a silk is softer than cotton floss, but this is like really, really soft, and it's beautiful. So I'm thinking a small Halloween ornament in the next year before Halloween, because that would be a beautiful variegation for that, to just do one solid, you know, one solid ornament with this. But until the piece comes to me, I will hold and cherish this and pet it once a day. I'm getting in my extra. It's just really soft. Like, people that stitch with this all the time, I'm jealous. Also, how do you afford it? Because, not saying anything bad about Dinky Dyes, because Dinky Dyes is not a bad brand, but I knew that silks were a little pricey, but silks are pricey. But they're worth it, I think. I haven't stitched with it yet, but I'm sure the stitching experience is going to be amazing. But look at that. It's just so pretty. So, I'll keep it tucked away, pet once a day. I'll actually go in here and pet it. I'm like, I don't do that. So I like can't with myself sometimes. So my next little piece of haul acquisition is this needle minder. I keep seeing everyone have it, and I had to have it for myself. These all came from Fire Poppies. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. But this is RIP, no needle, no thread, I'm dead. Everyone outside of my stitchy life, so friends and family that don't cross stitch, they'll call me, text me, ask me what I'm doing, and I'm like, cross stitching. So they're constantly not making fun of me for it, but just acknowledging that I'm constantly doing that. So, you know, I thought this was fitting. If I don't have any needle or any threads, that means I'm dead, you know? But kind of morbid, but kind of not, because it's not like on a little tombstone. And then this next one, you can barely see. It's called a Snag Nab It. Try to say that 3 times fast. So what this does, I keep it in this little sleeve because it's sharp. A lot of y'all probably already have these. I used to have one and then I lost it, which is probably not a good thing. I don't know where it went. But it is a very sharp end right here, which is why I keep it in a little case, because it's sharp. And then on this end, you can kind of see it a little bit. I'm trying to like spin it so it'll like kind of show it. They're not bird edges, but it's the metal is like grooved. So what you do is you stick this, so sometimes with your cross stitch there'll be a little stitch that's either a little bit higher up because something happened while it was in a Q-snap, or while you folded it up, it's not, the stitch isn't properly laid down. And what you can do, or if like a little strand is frayed out or something, what you do is you take the sharp end and you push it through that hole where the stitch is at, right? And then you pull this through, and then this end right here, the grooved end, catches those like the strands that are out of place, and you can pull it through and it goes to the back, so it'll fix your stitch essentially, right? But also, someone on Virtual Stitchers, I forget exactly who said it because it's been a couple of weeks now, but she suggested that this end, the sharp end, is really good for frogging because you can hold it here, and it's larger than a normal cross stitch needle. So you can really, you know, get in there, and the sharp end also allows you to get underneath the leg of the stitch easier. So I was using this to frog or rip out my linen and thread stitching. But again, it's really sharp, so I keep it in its little case because I don't want to risk stabbing myself. I hope that's not loud on camera. I really hope that's not too loud. It was a bigger piece of ice than I thought it was, sorry. So my next little section of this is Stitchy Kindness. Now, okay, I'm gonna walk a fine line here because I don't want to seem mean when I say this. So I received a message, which I know you're not always supposed to focus on like the one person because you can't make everybody happy type of thing. But I received a message a few weeks ago after I had posted a Flosstube where I had some Stitchy Kindness, which means that a friend of mine, gifted me something relating to stitching to be nice, and, you know, maybe for the season, maybe for Christmas, whatever, right? Doesn't matter why they sent it, but that's the you know, the gist of it is someone sent someone else something kind for their stitching. Lots of Flosstubers show up, but I received a message that this person felt as if I was bragging about receiving free stuff. Maybe not so much as that, but also that I was kind of rubbing it in their face on this Flosstube. The thing is, again, not trying to be mean when I say this, it's my channel. I'm doing this because I thought it was a kind act from my friends, and I'm not trying to rub it or brag it in anybody's faces. I'm just trying to give a public thank you because I want to do that because they did something nice, and I see this as something nice from my end to share that with y'all. So again, I know like 99.9% of y'all probably don't feel that way, but just in case that 0.1% is out there that feels that I'm bragging, I sincerely hope that you hear me now. I'm not trying to brag about this. I'm not trying to sit here and say, look at what my friends can do for me, blah, 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 whatever, okay? I'm doing this because I thought it was very sweet of them, and I want to share what they gave me. So, now that that's out of the way, let's get into it, okay? I don't know, I just felt like I needed to say that because I tried to explain it to her and she was still not, they still are not happy with my explanation of it. Again, you can't make everybody happy, what have you, but also we don't know what's going on in their life and why they feel that way, so I'm just trying to keep an open mind about it. But again, I want everyone to know I'm not trying to sit here and say, ooh, look at what I have and you don't, so please don't. I hope you don't feel that way about this. but we're done talking about that now. So I received a few weeks ago my first holiday card, my first, because, well, okay, here's a fun fact. I've never been one for Christmas cards, like to send them, or even holiday ones, because I never had anybody to send them to. And then this year, a lot of people were sending them to me, and I was like, oh crap, it's too late for me to send out Christmas cards, and I didn't even think about that. So I just want to thank everyone that sent me Christmas cards. And then next year, I'm going to have friends to send Christmas cards to, because before everyone lived around me. So why would I, you know, mail them a Christmas, like my mom, why would I give her a Christmas card? Because it's my mom. Like, I don't know. But now I have like friends everywhere around the world that I can send Christmas cards to, and like holiday cards and all that other stuff. But so Matt, NBC Stitcher, here on Flosstube and on Instagram, sent me this card, which was my first one of the season. See the glitter? It's a polar bear. And it says, holiday wishes. He gave me a really sweet note in there. I'm not going to share that. But, you know, I thought it was just very sweet. And so this was the first one that I received, like, at all. Like, ever. Again, I never sent out Christmas cards. My friends never sent out Christmas cards or holiday cards or anything like that. So this is actually the first ever holiday card that I've ever gotten. But along with that, I've posted it a couple of times on my Instagram with some stitching. But he also gifted me this beautiful needle minder. The glare, I'm sorry. It's this like crystal amethyst color-ish thing. Excuse me, I'm doing a bad job at explaining it. But see how the edges are, you can't see that. I'm trying to like get it to focus. There you go. This is a strong needle minder. So when I was stitching on my heaven and earth design, I was wrapping the flosses around it and keeping my needle on it, because this is like a long one, so it was like holding them really well. But I put it on every piece that I'm stitching on right now, because as I drop it, it's good. I just thought it was beautiful, and I wanted to share that. Again, not trying to brag. Look, now I'm gonna start being shady. I don't need to do all that now. So my next thing of Stitchy Kindness was from Bart and Katie. Park Hopper Bart, they're on Flosstube. Katie joins in on the Flosstubes. And then also on Instagram, still Park Hopper Bart, and then K Dunn 1013. So they sent me a Christmas card and then some candies and a tea. And we already know that candy and tea is already gone, so I don't have those with me today. But they sent this envelope with a wax seal on it. I was like, y'all are so fancy. I need to up my game. I need a wax seal now. I never needed one before, because again, I never sent cards, but you best believe next year when I'm sending cards, I'm gonna have a wax seal on mine. But anyways, look how beautiful this card is. They also sent a skein of floss of 666, and so I added that to my stash. But there's a cute little note inside, but I just love this card. Look, they're all on little ice skates. Those little ice skates. I just love the style of this. I can't stop staring at it. Uh-oh. I hope everybody's okay. You hear I don't know if y'all heard the sirens or not, but I hope everybody was okay. Again, with that wax seal, 10 out of 10, would recommend being fancy, because that's what they are. My next little holiday card was from Robert's Palace of Stitches, and he sent this to me, and I thought it was really sweet. And look how beautiful that picture is. Also, I want that dog, because look at the little cat. Look at that's Erickson. So I need a dog that looks like that, so Erickson can be with. Well, then I need the house, and then I need the tree. Okay, so this time next year, picture it. That'll be my Flosstube setup. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Oh my god, that'd be so cool. But that's not gonna happen. I'm 21 years old. This is not gonna happen. But look how pretty it is. I just thought it was sweet, so I just wanted to share it. So my next is from Dawn Marie. Again, DM's Crafty Vortex here on Flosstube. So she's been doing Flossmas, and so with that, of course, she's picked up diamond painting before Flossmas, but with Flossmas, she's been showing her diamond paintings and like working on them daily because it's a. Are they coming here? I hope everybody's okay, but how many times are they gonna pass my apartment building? So she has been diamond painting, and she messaged me and she was like, look, I need to get you on the dark side. You need to do some diamond painting. And I was like, okay, like, you know, like rubbing, like not actually doing it because I don't know, I just didn't get around to it. And so I opened the door one day and there was this package out there and she had a little letter inside. And she was like, I've gotten you on the dark side. You need it. You need this. So she sent me this diamond painting. So I will be doing this one. This is actually going to be my New Year, New Start. But doesn't it look like Erickson? Which is why she gave it to me, because it looks like him. Can you still hear them? Are they still, where are they at? So that's all the actual like diamond painting aspect. And then this is what the canvas around it looks like. So I'm excited. This will be my New Year, New Start, because I'm not doing any Stitchy related starts. So I figured, you know, a new craft for a new year. I had to be cheesy. Y'all. But I'm doing it like this. You can see the full kitty cat. But it says that it's only 12 by 12, like the finished product. So it says it's perfect to frame. So we'll see how perfect it is to frame when I get to that point. I think the only thing that I'm gonna run into an issue with on this one is not the actual diamond painting itself, but dealing with the kitty cat when I have the diamond painting. So he's gonna have to be asleep or something while I pull this out, because I don't want him to get a hold of the little pieces. And he's real nosy, so he wants to see what Dad's doing at like all times. But not only did she send me this, but she made, yes, you heard me correctly, she made a pen for me. Like oh wait, that's what they're called, a placer. Look at this. We're learning together. So it's the little, you know, the little placer. Oh, you put the little wax in there and you go doot, 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 doot. But look how beautiful that is. I don't think it's showing, but there's a very thin layer of like glitter on it. Like it has a little bit of sparkle. But I just thought that was just so sweet of her. Isn't that so sweet of her? I just think it's so sweet. So that'll be my New Year, New Start. So next Flosstube, I will actually have diamond painting to show. So my last little bit of Stitchy Kindness that I have is actually from Julie, Kansas City girl in the Colorado world. So I opened this package and I said, she knows me well. She knows me well. Look at this bag. Kill them with craftiness. And she was like, yeah, it was hard for me to not keep it myself. I think it's so cute. I immediately sent her a photo of me like modeling it, because I was like, yes, work, because look at it, like it's cute. So I have some goodies in it. This is, I've never ventured into Country Cottage Needleworks, but she sent me this pattern and it's adorable. It is Merry Christmas, my dear. Get it? Deer, because they're a deer. But look at that, isn't that cute? I feel like that'll be a quick stitch, and that's something that I can probably do in the summer when I'm craving Christmas and I'm missing Christmas, because then it'll like satisfy my Christmas, you know, craving. but yeah, I've never had a country cottage needlework, so I'm gonna kit that up so whenever I'm feeling like it, I can, you know, stitch it. And I just thought it was very cute and very sweet. She passed the stash on this Come Stitch a Spell from the Mill Hill Autumn Harvest collection. Yes, I just read that off of it as I was looking in the camera because I didn't want to mess it up. But so I'm gonna stitch this, and of course there's a little bit of fabric, or well, fabric, a little bit of floss and beads in there. And with that, she sent these needles, 26 count. I don't know if she knew this or not, but it's actually 26 count is my favorite size of needle. And those are the DMC needles, which brings up another question. Jess, Weaving Rainbow, she asked me what my favorite needles were. It's the DMC needles or the Bowen needles. I use 26 count because I can get away with that needle size on pretty much any count fabric that I use. So whether I'm stitching on 14 count fabric or I'm stitching on, you know, like the really big size fabric, or I'm stitching on 20 count, that needle tends to work well with any of them. So I just have a lot of 26 count. But then look at how tiny this little tiny planner is. I just want to hold it. Look how small it is. Even on the inside, it says this tiny happy planner. So it even knows that it's a tiny one. Isn't it cute? So it's just a day by day, you know, favorites, loving right now. Life is wonderful. It's a cute little planner. So I just wanted to, you know, show that. Look at all the little crafty stuff in the back. I need one of those. They have those at Michael's at work. I work at Michael's, by the way. They have those. So before either I'm let go, we don't know if I'm gonna, so seasonal is about to end, but I don't know if I'm going to leave, because corporate makes that decision just based off of availability and hours and budgeting and blah, blah, blah. So before I go though, I'm gonna try to buy one of those, whether I leave soon or, you know, in the summertime. But yeah, which brings me to my last point. Shockingly, after an hour and 12 minutes, my student teaching. So I want to let everybody know, round of applause, please. Or wait, drum roll, please. There we go. Imagine drums are here. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Drum roll, yeah. I passed my license exam. So, woo, yay. This is officially my last licensing exam. So now I'm just doing the clinical work behind the hours necessary to receive my license. And I passed it actually really well. So like the minimum score, I soared past. So not that it matters, but it was just a relief that after a month and a half of waiting that I finally got it. And I opened it with my mom sitting there. My mom's a teacher. And I opened it with her and I was like, just, okay, I have to make at least a 159. And we clicked on the PDF and it opened up and I was like, and she was freaking out because she understood kind of the feeling behind like having to study for that and spend all the money on it, because it's like a $200 test. And so I passed it, and I just wanted to let all of y'all know. And then with that as well, my student teaching experience. So I officially go back on January the 6th for back into the classroom, but my district yesterday sent that I'm student teaching in. I keep burping today. I am so sorry. The district that I student teach in actually went remote to virtual learning. So we just call it remote learning here. It's just virtual school until January 25th. So I don't really know if I'm going back January 6th, because when we went remote last semester, we weren't required to go to the school because the mentor teacher was teaching on Zoom, which is how they do it. So I can't teach on Zoom I don't know, there's like weird laws and everything. So my university just said, hey, we're just not going to put you in there while they're virtual teaching. So I don't know if I'm going the 6th of January or if I'm going the 25th of January, but I haven't heard anything, so I assume I'm going the 6th of January. It's all just kind of up in the air, but I'll end up in the classroom again sometime soon. And then that'll be done until mid-April. And then I graduate the first week of May. And then I'll have my own classroom in August. I'm already looking at schools. I'm actually wanting to move a little bit closer to Nashville and teach within that district because I want to teach inner city school. And, you know, things are just moving right along. So this is my last Flosstube for 2020, and my next one will be almost 2 weeks into the new year, so I won't see y'all until then. But definitely Happy New Year to all of those that need it, because I know I need it. And, you know, do all the YouTube things, like, comment, and subscribe so you can see my next video and we can chit chat in the comments. And I think YouTube is doing something funky right now with the subscription stuff, but I don't know. I don't know what's ever going on YouTube, really. I'm just here to talk about cross stitch and then leave. And then watch other people talk about cross stitch and then leave. So yeah, Erickson's in the other room because he's on timeout right now. Not really timeout, but timeout. So I will see y'all in the new year. I had to say that. I'll see y'all next year. I had to say it. It's the joke that's always said, but hopefully this will be up by the end of the day. Hopefully. But until then, I'll probably see y'all on Instagram. But until then, I'll see y'all then. Okay, bye.